So I'm just a stupid dog. So it's a little bit puzzling to me, the whole thing about Vinegar Gravy and her dad, Cold Sore Jimmy, the mafioso character. But the funny thing is, they're not from around Western Kentucky. The man met Vinegar Gravy when he had a rendezvous vacation spree situation with Madame Yes. I think, for all I know, they met in Florida. I'm not sure. But after some months, as their relationship became more and more endeavored, more came out about Vinegar Gravy has a temper on her. Madame Yes could be very, very cutthroat and nasty in a very what do you call apoplectic way, or what do they say where it's passive aggressive. It turns out that Madame Yes, she'd gut you, but you won't even know it till like the next day. You won't see your guts laying in the bed next to you. Vinegar Gravy's volatile. She blows her stack. She blows her, her cap. Whatever you say. She blows, whatever. This one. You want to be on the sweet side of Vinegar Gravy because once it gets a little bitter, it gets in. Whew, this girl, she's what do you call it? Acid. She's got that acid kind of thing going. Acid almost comes shooting out of her eyes. Well, it turns out that her dad is probably a reason because there was probably a little bit of a dysfunctional upbringing because her dad is a made man. The mafia, it's going to be a little bit of, it's going to make things tough. Plus, the odd thing about this guy is he's a little shifty, a little Weasley. He made his entire career based on his cold sore in the mob. So, for instance, if they said, hey, his name back then wasn't Cold Sore Jimmy right away, but they say, you got to go do this hit. You got to go kill this guy. And Cold Sore Jimmy's like, I don't want to go shoot somebody. It's disgusting. They weep. Or they get blood and brains all over your car, all over everything. It stinks. You won't believe how quickly the human body starts vacating all the orifices. It craps itself. It pees itself. The worst bile ever come out. People's belly buttons start weeping. It's disgusting. I don't want to be around. So he would always say, hey, God, look at this. I got a big giant cold sore over here. I don't want to give everybody a cold sore when we go out to kill this guy. Maybe I should stay back behind and, I'll stay in the corner. If the cops come, I'll whistle. That way nobody will get my cold sore. But, if there was a big bank job or something, and they would say, hey, Jimmy, we'd like to have you come along, get in on this great big bank job. We're going to steal millions of dollars. They said, but you can't come because you got a cold sore, right? He'd go, no, man. No, look, I don't have a cold sore. I don't have no cold sore. I've been taking the variegated cream so I don't have to worry about it, That way I know that I'll be ready to go. But then if they said something like, hey, so finally they start calling him Cold Sore Jimmy. Cold Sore Jimmy, why don't you go get with whatever this guy's over here, Hugo. Hugo's not a really big mafia name, but it was a nickname. It was Hugo. Said, hey, you and Hugo go chop up that corpse and bury it out in, Flatbush someplace. So it could be Flatbush anywhere. It was more like Sparrowbush probably is where they were from. They were some in the area, Sparrowbush. But they say, hey, Cold Sore Jimmy, could you do us a favor? Go chop that damn corpse up and get rid of it, dispose of it, put it in the dumpster or something, bury it out in Sparrowbush. He'd say, oh, guys, I'd love to, but listen, if you look right here, I got a little cold sore star. That's an indication. Usually I'm getting ready to have a cold. I'll get a sore throat. My throat's getting a little scratchy. My ears are getting a little clogged up. I get a cold sore. I know right away I got to go straight home and go to bed. I love to go out in the marshes and bury this chopped up corpse with you, but I can't. See, I'm getting a cold sore. He basically did his entire mafioso career. The funny thing about Cold Sore Jimmy, he's like 77. It turns out the man and him are kind of getting a little chummy, and it turns out that, Cold Sore Jimmy does have a pretty fat bankroll. Cold Sore Jimmy did pretty well for himself. Hopefully, Cold Sore Jimmy keeps right on plugging along because he may become, in a very slight and slim manner, one of the man's benefactors. The man, he didn't know how he feels about this because he's so elitist and, moral or whatever it is. The elites have no morals, but what do you got? They have a pretend code of ethics they live by that they break whenever it's convenient. But the man's like, I don't know if that's blood money. I don't want to take some dirty money. I'm afraid to take that kind of thing. I don't want to get involved. I want to steer clear. And that's one of those WASP-esque elitists white world things where you just don't want to get involved. You got yours. You don't have to monkey around with people from the mafia. You got yours. So you're like, hey, I don't want to get involved. But the man, I remember, he's very, very poor. So we're hoping it's as a dog, as a witness to what's going on, and whatever you say, a documenter, whatever you would call it, a chronicler. We're hoping the man doesn't get too involved with either Vinegar Gravy or Cold Sore Jimmy. But, I think in the interests of narrative, we're going to have to at least tell the truth about the whole thing. Whatever happens, it happens.